Hi and welcome to Orbit. This is the new Fold 4 from Samsung, and there are a lot of small changes, but they add up. This is my review. The Fold 4 is available in 4 colors: black, green, blue, gray, a beige gold mix like I have it here, and exclusively at Samsung Online burgundy. At first glance the design looks unchanged, but in fact every part has been changed a bit. The 3 cameras are again arranged in a line, but they stick out a little bit more because completely new sensors have been installed. That is of course a good thing, but unfortunately the Fold wobbles more on the table because of it. The frame is now polished and made out of armor aluminium. As drop tests show, this is extremely stable, and the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus as well. The vibration motor feels a bit more alive and dimensional, and the Samsung engraved hinge is now much flatter. Therefore the device got 8 grams lighter. While the Flip 4 feels like half a smartphone in the pocket, the Fold 4 is more like 1.5 smartphones. When unfolded, it is then a thin tablet, and it only weighs 30 grams more than a Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is actually quite remarkable. At first glance, the shape is unusually long and thick, but I learned to appreciate it. It somehow feels more elegant and above all more secure in the hand than the competition from Huawei, Vivo and Xiaomi. It has a bit of a TV remote feel to it. The outer display of the Fold 4 is 3 mm shorter and wider. The 6.2 inch feel more natural and normal as a result, and I was able to use it relatively well one-handed. However, it could be another 1 cm shorter for my sake. When typing on the keyboard, I didn't make more spelling mistakes as usual. For reading messages, navigating maps, controlling music and unlocking my scooter or e-bike, the outer display is just perfect. I used it about 1/3 of the time, which is more than I did with the Fold 3, and don't even get me started on the Fold 1. But the highlight, the big movie theater, the reason why you buy a Fold is for sure the 7.6 inch tablet on the inside. With around 4 million pixels, it is nice and sharp. At 1000 nits, brighter than any foldable and most non-foldable smartphones. Contrast and black levels are at high level thanks to OLED, and the aspect ratio is around 4:3. Not ideal for Instagram or watching videos, but because of the speakers, which are more comparable to a tablet than a smartphone, I had still a lot of fun with it on YouTube. Having 2 apps open next to each other is like having 2 smartphones in your hand. Surfing the internet with desktop pages is quite relaxing. Taking photos is great with such a large display, and also writing emails. I was able to work more productively on the Fold 4 than on any other smartphone, and I didn't even use the S Pen. The display bezels have gotten thinner and make other foldable phones look old next to it. Samsung uses its newest tech, while the old tech only let through 75% of light. This one lets through 68%, and this makes it 34% more energy efficient. So it really is the newest tech, and there's also LTPO, which goes from 1 to 120 Hz. So even though this is a huge screen, it's quite energy efficient. Another technical improvement involves the under-display selfie camera. It still has 4 megapixel, and if you look for it, you will find it, but the higher pixel density means I have noticed it extremely rarely in everyday use. It is better than a black hole for sure. The ultra-thin glass is 20% stronger. The adhesive of the protective film is also stronger, and Samsung promises 200,000 folds. That is years of use, and I frankly never worried about scratches or dents. I was only annoyed by the fact that dust and fingerprints are difficult to remove, and of course something that everyone sees when they have the Fold in hand for the first time, the crease in the display. And yes, it is very noticeable in photos and videos, and when I sit in the blazing sun it is annoying, but you really get used to it. It is the price you have to pay if you want the IPX8 water resistant, and I'm willing to pay it, which doesn't mean that I don't hope that it is gone with the next generation. Even though Samsung's One UI is clearly not my favorite software, and it's never the fastest one, it really is the best one if you want a big folding display. They really did a lot of great stuff with it, And there's also Android 12L running on this thing. The new app dock allows for crazy fast switching between apps, and you can easily drag and drop two apps next to each other. I used it a lot because of that. It's also impressive that you can now easily copy text from any picture. Another cool feature is stacks. Marton from TechAlta, my colleague here in the studio, sometimes forgets his MacBook, but then he just plugs in his Fold into the monitor and works with the PC interface of DeX. The Fold is a smartphone, tablet, and even a computer all in one. I think the semi-folded mode is handy for watching videos, whether inside or outside, and for video calls. Samsung is also the only Android manufacturer that guarantees 4 years of updates and 5 years of security updates. So there will be many more features in the future to come. The performance of the Fold 4 is the best I ever saw in a Samsung smartphone, but of course there's the best processor you can get in it, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. I really put it through its paces, and after 20 minutes of continuous stress testing, the GPU went down 49%. This is quite a lot, but less than the 60% on the Flip 4, but worse than the 15% on the OnePlus 10T. But in day-to-day use, you really don't notice it. It runs perfectly smooth and really fast. It is supported by 12 GB of RAM and at least 265 GB of UFS 3.1 storage. Whether you're running multiple apps side by side or graphic intensive games, the Fold 4 handles everything like it is nothing. My highlight is the 30% increased power efficiency, as the battery is unchanged 4400 mAh. I don't understand why, because the Flip has 15% more capacity thanks to the new hinge. Still, the battery life of the Fold 4 is better now. I always got through a day between 4 and 6.5 hours of screen on time. Strongly dependent whether I was on Wi-Fi or mobile data and which display I was using more. With the performance profile set to light, you get more battery life out of it, but that was not worth the poorer performance to me. Overall, I was satisfied with the battery life, but not with the charging speed. 25 watts is simply too slow. The $1,100 cheaper OnePlus 10T shoots 50% of battery with 150 watts in only 6 minutes into the phone. Time to talk about the new cameras. The ultra-wide angle is not new at all. It is the same as on the Fold 3 and 2 and even Flip 3, 4 and 1. So 12 megapixel, no autofocus, no macro mode. Enough for daytime snapshots, but overall the weakest of the three lenses. The main sensor, however, is great. 50 megapixel with the f1.8 aperture, taken from the Galaxy S22. Even there you could hardly notice the difference to the S22 Ultra. The dynamic range and sharpness is high. Samsung now has a more natural look than most of the other manufacturers, and that's something I appreciate. Photos at night look very vibrant. Whether an iPhone 13 Pro, Pixel 6 Pro or Fold 4 is better cannot be answered objectively, but only subjectively at this point. The new 3x 10 megapixel zoom is also carried over from the S22, and it is a noticeable improvement. I like using it because it has a comparable look and quality to the main camera. The only thing missing is the 10x zoom from the S22 Ultra, but how often do you really use that? It is much more practical that you can put the Fold down to make a video or take pictures. The selfie camera on the outside is okay. The under-display selfie camera is okay for an under-display camera, but it's not nice to look at. But you can also use the main camera for selfies, and that is the best quality selfie on the market. I also welcome the fact that Instagram, Snapchat and everything else now uses not a screenshot but the full picture quality. Conclusion. For $1,800, the Fold 4 is the ultimate flex, but no one really pays this price. There are cool pre-order bundles, and there's of course the price decrease in time. The Fold 3 now costs only $1,100. But it's still a lot of money, and you really have to be into tech to spend this much. It's really easy to say that the Fold 4 only has minor changes and therefore is not worth it. But in my opinion, all these minor changes, they add up. The new design, the new camera and the new processor. And for me, this is the first Fold I bought with my own money. But of course, it's far from perfect, and I really hope that the Fold 5 will have a flat display with no crease in it and an even better battery life. That's it from this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.